After witnessing one of the greatest comebacks, one of the greatest games I've ever seen in Game 4, the Edmonton Oilers, they scratched, they clawed, they fought their way to even up the series, tied 2 apiece. 4 games, 3 overtimes, and here we've got a best of 3 coming our way. The point, though, the Edmonton Oilers got home ice advantage in this series right now. Best of 3, Saturday night. Downtown Edmonton at Rogers Place. Zachary, it literally does not get any better than this. Edmonton fans, it's been rainy all day. They've been lined up. We are ready to go, especially down here at Greta Bar Yag. But hello, what up, and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant, and is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. This evening, I'm joined by Oilers Nation writer, my number one bullpen call all regular season. And I think you might be getting a lot of Bordzy and Zach for the rest of the way out. Reminder, only 3 more chances to pregame here. This place, Greta Bar Yag, already packed. The weather, like I mentioned, not great. That doesn't slow down Oilers fans anywhere. We got Jay Downton in the house, Captain Felton in the house. The Utah boys are in the house. My buddy, who is a diehard lifelong Leafs fan, who has officially crossed over to the dark side, he's wearing an Oilers jersey right over there right now. Remarkable. Zachary, give me a vibe check.
Bordzy, the vibes are absolutely high here right now. Listen, this place is always filled on game days. I don't think I've seen it this full, this early for a single game this entire postseason. You know what that means, Bordzy? Vibes are high.
I think that means we might be getting in one this evening. Here we go. We're ready to go. Also, Brett, pull that photo back up. That's kind of just like pretty much just what's going on right now. Just replace Coombsy with Zach right there, and hey, come on down to Greta. All the tables are reserved. All the seats are reserved. However, shout out Bert. There's my boy. All the seats reserved. Patio might be a little available. Whatever. Standing room only. Get your ass down here to Greta Bar Yag, because we're going to have a night. And also want to give a shout out to Odd Company, Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Going to have a couple of these this evening. Perfect for game day. Perfect for every day of the week. Pick them up. 2 Edmonton locations in the area. Richie, downtown, or simply check liquorconnect.com. But let's get caught up in the chat. And shockingly enough, Austin is not the first comment of the day. It's Veronica who says, "Let's go Oilers. I love you, Connor McDavid." If it's either one of them and she's giving love to McDavid, I think we got some good juju coming our way. Dylan, let's go Oilers. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
2 more wins. Lola's in with a simple cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
K. Waddy, LFG Oil, LFG Oilers. I said to you right before the show, have you guys ever seen Storage Wars before? Because Bob Stauffer has a simple yep. The yup truck, if you will. Southpaw, LFG, hope will never die. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
And I think we're going to have a good night. A lot of familiar faces in chat. I like to see that. And then, of course, we've got some super chats. Reminder, they're all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause incredibly near, incredibly dear to all of our hearts. They do awesome stuff for families dealing with hard times. And I want to say, I forgot some super chats at the back half of last games, Game 4's Oilers Nation After Dark. And I got to single one out because Mackay and Dry dug in his bag for Bordzy bars on that one, and I can't believe I missed it. So if I may, he had, holy fact, what a comeback. Time to smoke that Florida pack. Refs are whack, brain cells they lack, turning a blind eye when it's clearly a hack. Heart racing like I just did some crack. 2 more wins, boys. We are so back. He's had a lot of bangers in there before. That one was pretty electric. Lance also had in there. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
And then today, Bob Stauffer's in $27.99. If Stecher is in tonight, I think it's a good thing. Troy will never do anything like that again. I want to see fire from Trent and Skinner tonight. Also, my good buddy is at Greta tonight, all the way from Halifax. Let's go. Hashtag Ben. Hashtag Bo is also in the building as well. Every familiar face coming down to Greta. Flipart those in $5. Let's get that big pick energy going on.
Speaking of people in the house, sources are telling me that our Australian friend Dukes is in Edmonton right now. Missed the last game. Very excited to see Dukes at some point here tonight.
I have never in person met Dukes before.
A beauty.
We are doing pre-gaming for Game 4. I'm sitting in this very seat. All of a sudden, I see Dukes walk in over there. I'm in the middle of a thought. Lost everything there where I was going. Dropped everything. I was like, do I know what Dukes looks like? Is that? I'm pretty sure that's Dukes. He turns around, has Dukes on the back of his jersey, and I went, my spidey senses are tingling. That might, in fact, be Dukes. Also, Bob Stauffer just mentioned Troy Stecher in there. He is expected to be in the lineup tonight. He only played 4 minutes and 16 seconds in Game 4. However, Zachary, I'm sure you saw this. We all know Peyton, the BP's hoodie kid that we all see out in the moss pit all the time. Well, he bumped into Troy Stecher yesterday, and this height difference is shocking. And I knew it was going to be big, but that's massive. Troy Stecher is also on his tippy toes here. Peyton, for reference, 6'7", towering over our boy Troy Stecher. Also, Love, hey, he only played 4 minutes. Didn't have a great game in Game 4. Still stopping to take photos with the fans.
Love to see it. You love to see it. Big fan of Stecher. He's a nation, like a lot of people in the Nation Network are fans of him because, of course, he played for the Vancouver Canucks. Quads has always had nothing but good things to say about Stecher. And so I was excited when the Oilers picked him up at the deadline last year, and he's been a great player for the Oilers. I'd like to see more than 4 minutes and 18 seconds of ice time. A bit of a tough coach's decision there in Game 4, but hey, he's going to be feeling fresh tonight. I'm
sure Nobby would say he'd like to see less turnovers. Obviously, it was a tough one on that third goal against. He was high-sticked, but as I pointed out, he lost the puck well before he was high-sticked, so whatever. Either way, the Oilers won, and Stecher's going to be in the lineup. Also, my buddy, Leafs fan turned Oilers fan, Kyle Somerville, is in the building and in the chat, says LFG Bordzy, Oil taking Game 5. It is also an even -110 split for both teams. It's a pick'em. I've referenced before. 600 total NHL best-of-7 series have gone to, or have started 2-2. The records for home-away teams, 300 to 300. It truly is a coin flip. But, Zachary, hell of a hockey game. Actually, also, before we get going, Brett, show the photo of the Oilers fans today. I keep mentioning it's rainy as shit here in Edmonton. There's nothing like Oilers fans, especially on a Saturday if they don't have to work all day. This was 6 hours before puck drop in the pouring rain. People are lined up outside the moss pit to get in there and party with this city. That's dedication, Zachary, that you get it in Canadian cities, but more so Edmonton. We're on the center stage of the NHL hockey universe right now. Damn it, the Oilers fans are showing up.
They absolutely are, man. They come in troves, right? And you love to see it.
Yeah, look at them.
I mean, it's just amazing. There's nothing like it here. Playoff hockey in Edmonton is just such a different animal. If you haven't got down to Edmonton, you haven't gotten downtown, you're seriously missing out.
And a lot of people were seeing it. Goat, the Utah boys, just said he bought a ticket last minute, flew down. Captain Felton bought a one-way ticket, so he doesn't even know when he's going back. That's the beauty of being able to work remotely. Come on into Edmonton. Shout out Felton. Shout out everybody that's down here. But we got a best-of-3 series on our hands from the rest of the way out because, well, of course we do, Zachary. I mentioned, been very consistent since before Game 1. This is going 7 games. 4 games, 3 of which have already gone to overtime. We've seen some amazing hockey so far in the Stanley Cup final. You got amazing play from star players. We got depth scoring throughout the lineup. We've got a highlight reel goaltending saves now from 3 different goaltenders throughout this series. There's been insane physicality. Scrums after every whistle, which I do think as we get more down to the nitty-gritty, I think there's going to be a little bit less of that. We're more on the business side now, but it's been some of the best hockey I've ever witnessed in my both of our 29 years here on Earth. In Edmonton, they found a way to snatch home ice back in their favor. The series now shifts to Edmonton, and this is the difference of last season. I talked about it a lot, that I thought home ice would be crucial for the Oilers to start the series, because we all know last year they went down 0-3, but here we are, tied 2-2, 2 of a possible 3 games going down at Rogers Place. And tonight, Zachary, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada in Rogers Place. It's going to be electric, and this is what you live for, dude. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely, man. I was telling you just before we came live here, I drank so much water today. I might be the most hydrated person on planet Earth. That is something that I haven't done well enough before any of the nights down here at Greta. But boy, I drank an absolute boatload of water today. So I'm hydrated. I feel good. My skin feels nice and fresh.
You look
clean.
Good. You look good.
Thank you. I'm ready to go, man. I'm absolutely ready to lock in.
Zach was also so ready to go. He biked all the way here.
Yeah. one of the electric bikes, got a nice little pump in, break a little bit of a sweat. I'm ready to roll.
Also, let's do it now. Let's give our shout out. You guys have heard me talk about it. The Bender Extender. Shout out. You can buy them online. They're great hangover prevention pills, I will say.
Yep.
They work like a charm. And I got a couple right here, Zachary.
I already popped mine before the show.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. Shout out to Cameo, because she does great stuff, great work. Here, while that goes, you want to read the super chat for me?
Brownie fan, Oiler fan from South Dakota, best team, best fans. Let's start this game with our best game. We can do it. Win it for Canada. And my guy, Zach Hyman. Thank you, Brownie, for the $9.99 to the Ben Stelter Foundation.
Brownie, we love you, brother. We appreciate every bit of it. But there's one big change here heading into Game 5. It's funny because he's actually played in each of the last 2 hockey games, but Calvin Pickard will officially get the start. I saw some jokes today saying the pick is in. The picks is going to be in. My pal Cal, he's coming off of an awesome Game 4. He came in relief of Stuart Skinner, stopped 22 of 23 shots, and he was dialed in. I will say, I didn't totally like how he played the game-tying goal with 20 seconds left. It's the same thing we crucify Stuart Skinner for, being out of position out of your net, but he more than made up for it in overtime. And then I guess on the other side, Stuart Skinner, it's tough, right? Because he's the one who has to fall on the sword for this team. And I would argue the only thing that he did wrong was be the best player in the first period of the Oilers' worst period of the Stanley Cup Finals. I thought he was pretty good. Obviously, that third goal, it's a backbreaker, and I don't think this was to Stuart Skinner's capabilities. We heard it in the room. Corey Perry was ripping everybody apart. Nobby makes the change to go to Calvin Pickard. And I keep calling him the king of adjustments for a reason, because Nobby is the puppeteer of this team, knows the pulse better than anything. Feel bad for Stuart Skinner, but there's only 3 games left to go in the season, Zachary. You got to put your best foot forward. I saw enough from Calvin Pickard in each of the last 3 games to see that I think he's the right player. He's the move to go. We made some polls on After Dark, made some polls on ONE. The fan base agrees with that sentiment. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said just how good Nobby is at dialing the knobs in a little bit, right? Like, he's been tremendous at adjustments. It seems like, for 2 years now, everything he's touched has turned to gold, especially in the playoffs, right? So, I personally wasn't a fan of Skinner getting pulled in Game 4. Pickard kind of changed my mind a little bit about it. I'm not going to lie. And then yesterday on ONE, DJ Bean kind of convinced me that Pickard was the way to go here. Look, I don't think you can go with I don't think there's a bad option between the two of them here, because Skinner's played so well since he came back in against Vegas, right? And even a game like Game 4 there, I don't think you can pin those 3 goals on him. The team was playing absolute
2 power play goals and then a horrible giveaway from Troy Stecher.
Yeah, it's brutal, right? So, I think Pickard, going with him, fine with the move. I'm expecting a big game from him. One interesting thing that I noticed, just digging into the numbers a little bit today, Pickard's save percentage has actually been worse on home ice than it has been on the road. But it feels like, you know what that means, right?
He's due.
He's due. He's due for a big one tonight. I'm really excited to see what Pick Daddy can do.
Calvin Pickard, as I mentioned, he's been playing the last couple of games. Brett, we also got a clip here of our pal Cal talking with the media ahead of today's game and talking about getting his first start in quite a bit.
That's exciting. Good opportunity for me, obviously. It feels like another game for me. Obviously getting the time in last game and not having much time to think about it and, not having much room for error. And then obviously our team really battling back and getting a win, it gives you some confidence. And, the building's going to be electric tonight. It's definitely going to be an exciting day.
I've got all the confidence in the world in him. The fans do. And one specific fan might even have the most confidence in the world. Brett, show the folks, because this guy, I don't know this man, but this man's a fucking stud. Shout out to Greg Wyshynski for snapping this one. My man here had a Calvin Pickard jersey since last season and walked into Game 5 with a goalie catcher signed by Calvin Pickard. Why? I cheer for the underdog, he told me. Brett, I'm going to need some barks. Shout out my dogs in the crib. Where my dog's at as well. Shout out to that guy. That's what I mean. That's what you get in Edmonton. This guy knows his moment. I'm sure he paid a pretty penny for that ticket. Hopefully he also makes it on the television. But Chris Knobloch, he tinkered with the lineup ahead of Game 4, and it worked. Just like the Calvin Pickard thing. I agree. I didn't think Stuart Skinner deserved the pull, but you cannot argue with results, brother. Calvin Pickard was the way to go. So Jeff Skinner entered into the last game in replace of Victor Arvidsson. I thought Jeff Skinner was awesome on the third line. I thought he was exactly what they needed to get Freddie, Rico, and Jeff Skinner, that third line, starting to go a little bit. Troy Stecher came in for John Klingberg. We talked about it. He only played 4 minutes and 16 seconds, had a brutal giveaway, basically sat on the bench for the rest of the game. Nobby has elected to stick with Troy Stecher again in this game. But that's not the only change here. We're going to get Victor Arvidsson back in the lineup in this hockey game. He will replace Kasperi Kapanen. And to be honest with you, Zachary, I think this is a long time coming. I was talking about this on the last Pregaming, that I think some of the shine had worn off Kasperi Kapanen, and that's something that's kind of been a little bit of a theme and routine throughout the regular season. Comes in for a couple, is electric, awesome, especially in the top six, then loses a little bit of that. I had mentioned how I wanted to see Jeff Skinner get a shot in the top six before the last game. Well, he's not going to get it tonight, but we are getting new line mates for Leon Draisaitl, expected to be Vasily Podkolzin on the left wing and Corey Perry on the right wing. And hey, I think it's the way to go. Vasily Podkolzin had one of his best games. He had a goal, assist, just over 11 minutes time on ice in the last hockey game. He's been stable to Leon Draisaitl for most of the regular season. We know Corey Perry, you can put him in anywhere. I think Leon has been deserving of new line mates for a couple games now. Evander Kane, we'll talk about him later, demoted to the fourth. I think very justified in that decision. But thoughts on the changes in the forward group and what we're going to see tonight from Nobby?
Yeah, I think he kind of also buried the lead a little bit there. Evander Kane on the fourth line, right? Chris Knoblaw was not happy about Evander Kane in game 4. 3 straight games where he took a high-sticking penalty in the first period. That was a big issue. Like I wrote about it yesterday, theorizing, is this maybe a guy that you put in the press box for a game to kind of send a message to the rest of the team of, hey, this is really unacceptable. I haven't thought Kane has been tremendous or anything like that here, but the truth of the matter is he's such a physical presence out there. The Oilers need that in the lineup. So, I didn't think they were going to pull him out or anything like that. But to see him down on the fourth line, I'm going to be really intrigued to see what his ice time here looks like. The top six, I love the look of the top six right now. I really like Podkolzin getting that bump up there. He played so much with Draisaitl in the regular season this year, and he seems to play at his best when he's with Draisaitl. Obviously, a huge goal in game 4 there. He was all over the ice. I think this could be another spot for him to have a big game. And look, that Draisaitl line's gone up against the Bennett line all series long, right? That's not necessarily a fast line over there for the Florida Panthers or anything like that. And evidently, with Corey Perry there, not the fastest guy or anything like that. But I think that's 2 lines that are just going to absolutely go to war tonight out there.
Down low, cycling the puck on the forecheck below the goal line. We know Pods. It's a simple game with Leon Draisaitl. Bang body, forecheck, try and retrieve puck, get puck, give to 29, go to net, put stick on the ice. Simple. And I think Pods, he's very deserving of this spot. He's been awesome in whatever spot you put him in. Obviously got rewarded with a nice, greasy, gross goal in the blue paint in game 4. Expecting a big one from him and more minutes for Pods means more hits from Pods, and we like that in the Stanley Cup Finals. The other one, it's Victor Arvidsson coming into the lineup in replace of Kasperi Kapanen. You can hear me talk about it, but we also have a clip here. Shout out Patrick Puff. He was my hot performer on Oilers Nation Radio yesterday. That man is working like a dog all morning, all day, all night. He was in Florida. He's back in Edmonton, was at practice all morning. He'll be there all night. Shout out Patrick Puff. But he also got us this clip of Chris Knobloch talking about the decision to bring Victor Arvidsson into the lineup.
Yeah, Victor, was pulled out not in the lineup, but, was that fair? And we talk about, things are fair and not fair. But here's the, privilege I have is having a lot of good hockey players and being able to put them in the lineup. And, we're what a fresh guy who didn't play the previous game. Our team has traveled, and we feel it's Victor's in a position to help us. And through playoffs, has played really well. And just because of circumstances where we needed more physicality or maybe more of a penalty kill guy, whatever it is, he was pulled out of the lineup. But Victor's an excellent hockey player, and we feel that will give us a good game time.
I also feel that Victor Arvidsson's going to have a good game. When you've got an NHL veteran who scored 30 goals multiple times in his career, it's got to be a pretty big shot to the ego to be yanked out of the lineup. There's Dukes. See, again, completely lost my train of thought. The moment he walks into the bar, you lose it. But Shooter McGavin's got me. Also points out quite the tan for Chris Knobloch. You can tell also Gene Principe. He looks like a Florida man out there. He got some sun in the last couple days.
All of those media guys look like they got hit by a nuclear weapon. They
really
were
did.
so dead. It's like,
got to wear the Oppenheimer glasses.
Yeah, like what else are you going to do when you got the extra off day down there besides hit the beach, right?
Hey, also, Chris Knobloch's in. He says, man, I look great. You're absolutely right, you do. Let's go now to our need-to-know information, courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky. On Thursday for Game 4, I was doing Wilhauk Beef Jerky tosses down here at Greta Barriere, and I'm happy to report I didn't throw all of it in order that I could keep some for Saturday night because, Zachary, I get nervous. I get munchy. Wilhauk Beef Jerky, it's the best possible thing. Come on, you can find out more information to get your jerky on at wilhaukbeefjerky.com, or you can go exclusively to their Leduc location and pick up just some of the best stuff you've ever had. Zachary, you know it. I also had so many people in the bar come up to me and go, thought it was kind of fucking weird that you were throwing out beef jerky to everyone. Then I opened it up, and then they went, oh, now I get why you talk so fondly of it all the time. You need to know information. Jeff Skinner stays in. Arvidsson's in for Kasperi Kapanen and Troy Stecher will continue to stay in. Brett, want to just one more time, in case we got anyone joining us lately, throw up the lineup, what we got at skate. You see on your screen, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with McDavid and Connor Brown, Podzilla with Leon and the Worm. Then it's Jeff Skinner with Rico and Trent Frederick. Fourth line, Evander Kane, which we'll talk about in just a moment, because he had another quote that I'm like, dude, just fucking smile and nod sometimes. Okay, Matthias Janmark centering that. Victor Arvidsson on the fourth line. Kapanen and Derek Ryan, Max Jones, not Ryan Jones, Devan Dubnyk's buddy and former Edmonton Oiler. Your D pairings, it says Ekholm Wallman, Nurse, Stecher, Kulak, Bouchard. Who knows? We saw in the last game, Stecher only played 4 minutes. That meant everybody else, all the 5 of the defensemen, and it went to overtime, each played over 20 minutes. Depth chart's a recommendation. I say this all the time to you guys. Leon Draisaitl scored his 4th OT winner of the NHL postseason, setting a new NHL record for most OT winners in a single playoffs. The funny part, he had never scored an OT winner in the playoffs before this season. For Leon's year, Sean DePaz, producer at What Chaos yesterday, kept saying it's Leon's team this season. The other guy who was awesome in Game 4, and he's just been awesome all playoffs, Jake the Snake Wallman. He had some new chemistry with Matthias Ekholm. He played with a little bit of everybody, scored a big goal in the third period where he had that thing locked and loaded for what felt like 4 seconds ready to go. That was the time to gritty. If you were ever going to gritty, that was the moment, but he still had a beautiful celebration. He played 22-32, 1 shot with 1 goal, 7 blocks, 4 hits, and he now has 6 points in his last 6 playoff games. 1 goal, 5 assists. Jake Wallman, juicy on Bet365 for 1+ point. And then finally, Calvin Pickard, he gets the start and was able to continue his unbeaten streak in Game 4. He is now 7-0 this postseason with a .269 goals against average and an .896 save percentage. On the other side of your need to know, the Panthers, as of the last time I checked Twitter, there's going to be no lineup changes. We don't expect to be, and really, they haven't made much throughout this entire series. They swapped Verhaeghe and Rodriguez at one point, and then AJ Greer came in for Jesper Boquist. That's pretty much been it. The D pairings have continued to stay the same. This is the first Stanley Cup Finals in history where they've had 2 games go to overtime on the back of a game-tying goal in the final minute. And Edmonton was the 7th team in Stanley Cup Finals history to come back from 3-0. And they were the first team to ever do it on the road. Not fun fact, painful fact. Who was the last team to do it 3-0 comeback in the Stanley Cup Finals?
Montreal Canadiens.
I believe it was Carolina Hurricanes against the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah. Why did I bring that up? Why did I bring that up? Why would I even bring that up? That's on me. Accountability. Come on, Bordzy. Sergei Bobrovsky, he had his worst game of the Cup final in Game 4. Allowed 5 goals on 35 shots. He had posted a .928 combined through games 1 and 3, and had an .857 in Game 4. The beautiful thing for me, it was 5 different goal scorers for the Edmonton Oilers in that game, meaning everybody has found a way here to beat Sergei Bobrovsky. Hopefully that can continue. Let's go now to our Sherwood Ford Giants storyline, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giants, in the heart of Sherwood Park. They do awesome things down there, and they've got their Nation Valet service going on. It's simple. You don't have to drive a Sherwood Ford. It can be any make or model. They will drive to your home. They'll drive to your workplace. They'll pick up your vehicle, drive it back to the shop, do whatever needs to be done, and they will drive that bad boy right on back to you. And when I did it, they even washed my car. I don't know if that was special treatment just for me. Maybe you can put it in the fine print. When you go online, you fill out the form. And hey, Sherwood Ford the Giant for a reason. My storyline, Zachary, it's all about home ice advantage for me here. It is Saturday night in Edmonton, and this is what you play the regular season for. It's why you play 82. The Oilers, for 3 rounds in the postseason, did not have home ice advantage. Shockingly enough, here we are, best of 3, with the possibility of 2 of those games being at Rogers Place. And Edmonton is just better on home ice. Sleep in your own bed. You get the home cooking. The special teams are better. The goaltending tends to be better. They ride off the crowd in everything they do. And not to mention, Chris Knobloch pulls those strings better than anyone, especially when he's got last change. Also, I don't even think it's a hot take, because I've been hearing a lot of mainstream media say it. Rogers Place might be the best atmosphere in all of North America. And tonight, we got an opportunity to show that. Zachary, you got a storyline or a key to victory?
It's going to be so damn loud tonight.
It's going to
be so loud here in Greta. My key to victory is staying out of the damn penalty box. It's been such an issue for this team here in the Stanley Cup final, especially with the sloppy stick infractions. How many high stickings have we seen from the Edmonton Oilers? It feels like a million. It feels like a million of them. So for me, stay out of the box, stay safe, keep those sticks down and on the ice.
100%. My key to victory, had it right here. You see it? All capitals. No penalties for the love of God, in all capitals. Be smart. And like we kind of talked about the Oilers, how they came back in that hockey game. They played their game. It wasn't like the Florida Panthers were fucking this up and fumbling that over there. The Oilers were just consistent, wave after wave after wave, and we saw the depth players get involved. They were sucked into less of that bullshit. But I'm looking at you, Evander Kane. Stay out of the box. Yes, Brett?
Wes McCauley is the official tonight.
Fuck me. Oh, why'd you have to say that? Well, be prepared then. Be prepared, and especially in the first 20 minutes. Because we've seen a theme. They're calling a little bit of everything in the first 20 minutes and then kind of swallowing the whistles as they go along. Stay out of the penalty box. Do not get sucked into the Florida Panthers game. But let's go now. Home team lineup, Bird. You can just throw it up. We've already mentioned it. But the thing that I'm most excited for, is kind of leads into my storyline, is Nobby being able to use last change. Yes, we're going to start Connor and Leon on separate lines. We're going RNH, McDavid, and Connor Brown. They were kind of shut down by the Panthers 5v5 in Game 4. I believe it was 5 scoring chances over 11 minutes at even strength. However, in that game, the second line, Podkolzin and Dry and Perry, they scored 2 even strength goals. They looked very good in their 6.5 minutes at 5v5 together. But being on a home ice, you know Nobby, he's going to utilize them after icings, faceoffs in the offensive zone. And Connor McDavid has yet to score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals this season. He can't go 5 games in a row, right? He can't continue to go. I believe it's plus 160, I want to say, on bet365.com. We posted the clip like an hour ago, Brad, of me bitching about Stephen A. Just wanted to get shoved in his face. McDavid score 1, but last change, home ice. Connor going to bury? Or is Connor going to bury?
Connor's going to bury.
There it is. Plus 140. Plus 140.
He is so ridiculously, absurdly due for a goal here. He has been absolutely buzzing around the net pretty much all series long here. Through 4 games, he generated 2.38 individual expected goals. Just tons of high-quality scoring chances for him. And there's been a couple moments where Bobrovsky has absolutely robbed him. You're not going to keep Connor McDavid off of the score sheet, out of the goal column for an entire 7-game series, or however long the series is going to go. And McDavid has always kind of seemed to play better at home ice, and even in the playoffs. That's nothing different there for him. Just trying to pull up the numbers really quickly that I got in front of me. 4 goals.
You should see these spreadsheets I'm looking at right now. Holy shit.
4 goals in 9 home games for Connor McDavid. On the road, it's been 2-11. So he's scoring more here at home ice in these playoffs. Great chance for him to do so tonight.
That's the most organized thing I've ever seen in my life. That's That stresses me out to even look at. I don't know how.
I know exactly what all of this is.
Shout out to Zachary. That's why he does the DFS report.
That's right.
Come on now. Shout out. We're not doing that anymore right now, but we will be in the regular season. Come on now. He'll help your fantasy team. He fucking beats my team every single year in these Oilers Nation fantasy leagues. It sucks. You mentioned Evander Kane, and I didn't want to get negative to start, but I'll get slightly negative here. So he spoke to the media this morning. You saw him sitting there next to Calvin Pickard. It had quite the interesting quote for me regarding the Florida Panthers. Brett, I believe we have it in here, courtesy of our pal Chris Johnston. I think they maybe get a little too much credit for how crazy they drive teams. I like that he says that. But Kaner, we all have eyes, and we have seen you lose your shit at multiple points. You mentioned he's taken multiple stick infraction penalties throughout this. And the Edmonton Oilers absolutely lost their shit in Game 3. The definition of them driving you crazy and driving you mad. And Evander Kane himself said it. Said it yesterday a lot on O&E, and I said it on After Dark. He has become a liability, especially in the first period. I love that he plays aggressive. I love that he plays that style of game, but you need to walk that line, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers, PK, I don't think we're ever going to figure it out here in the next 3 games, possible 3 games. Your best strategy, stay the fuck out of the box, and that might have to be Evander Kane playing less minutes. I think the move to reward Podkolzin, very justified. And to demote Evander Kane is more than justified. Also, I'm talking this much shit. Watch him bury a big goal tonight. But weird quote there from Evander Kane. Sometimes I'm like, dude, just don't say anything. Just give me the classic, stereotypical, shitty hockey answer. Get off the podium because, like, come on, dude. What is that? Come on.
It's gamesmanship. That's what it is, right? I don't know. I don't love the comment.
It made me cringe because I was like, dude, I've seen you lose your shit already this series. But either way, don't want to get negative.
And the Oilers have done so too, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing about it. That's a little like, oh, okay, that's a little bit strange. You know what? What can you do, right? He needs to have a big game. The Oilers need to find a way to have some success with him out there on the ice. I haven't really been impressed with his game here in the finals. But you know what? Like, you take a look at that fourth line, you know, it's 2 guys who can score in Victor Arvidsson and Evander Kane with Matthias Janmark, the janitor, up the middle. So if they could find a way to get on the score sheet with a goal tonight, that would be absolutely huge.
You hear the horns honking. You see the flags, the oil rigs driving on by. This is what it's all about, people. Zachary, final one regarding the Oilers. Troy Stecher, where's your confidence level right now? Because for me, I'm always confident in Stech. He knows his limitations. He knows his game. He knows he fucked up turning that puck over. Nobby, I like that he sticks to his guns. He sticks to his gut. Benched him. He only played 14 seconds in the second period. Nothing in the third period. I do believe in the Oilers' 5-man D-core unit, but I do believe in Troy Stecher, and I think he's going to be highly motivated. He's going to be dialed in. That guy's got the eye of the tiger. Also, good luck charm. He got to meet Payton yesterday, but confidence level in Stecher right now.
Never in doubt. I like him. I like his game. He keeps it simple. Like I said before, like, 418 in Game 4 there. He's going to be fresh. Nobby, as we heard from him, talked about, guys wanting guys that are kind of fresh coming into the lineup here. A game 2 nights ago, there's the big man himself.
There, literally, his ears were burning.
In.
Just walked in.
I lost my train of thought. He's so damn tall.
He's wearing a signed Matthias Janmark jersey right now.
Maybe we should bet him Matthias Janmark anytime tonight.
I'm good. I think
That's
I'm
the
good.
correct answer there.
You know what?
But anyways,
plus 1,000.
Oh my God. I remember what I was talking about now. Fresh legs. Stecher's going to have fresh legs here tonight, right? So it would not surprise me to see him playing a lot more minutes out there tonight. I think he's a guy who needs to step up with another big one.
Also, he's a Darnell Nurse whisperer for whatever reason, and I believe in that pairing together. Let's go now. Before this, we're going to double ad read here, Bert. I want to give some love to Budweiser, because also we're going to have some odd companies. We're going to have some Budweisers this evening. They've been brewing beer in Edmonton for 45 years, and they just partnered up with legendary Edmontonian St. Albert's own, the Moose, Mark Mestier, Mr. Game 7, Mr. Guarantee, whatever you want to call him. He's the man. You can get their beautiful Edmonton cans at select liquor stores around the Edmonton area. You guys see Tyler posting today, that sick-ass Budweiser hoodie that they sent him.
So nice.
I'll complain. I also host a show with Budweiser on it. Would have been nice. They sent me one as well. But either way, I'll just keep on crushing the beers because that's all that I really want. They got the beautiful cans. They are delicious. Now let's go to the starting goaltender report, brought to you by our other friend, Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, also in the heart of Sherwood Park. Mom, they got their 70,000-liter test pool. So if you're a boat owner, they can service it much like Sherwood Ford the Giant can. And also, Outdoor Toys, brother. You just biked here.
I did.
Those bikes are just cheating because they give you the assisted pedal and all that shit. I was in San Francisco once before. It's just hills galore and everything.
Oh.
I saw real people, or not real people biking with real bikes. Well, I had the automated ones that make it way easier. I'm going up these hills like nothing. These people look like they were going to die in the streets. Shout out Sure Power Sports Marine. That could be you. You could be around the river valley going up and down, do whatever you want. They also got scooters, boats, speedboats, pontoon boats. They got a little bit of everything over there. So shout out to Power Sports and Marine. It's Calvin Pickard versus Sergei Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky!
You're off the case. Shout out Jay Onright. 14-7 record for Bob. 227 goals against, 912 save percentage. Picks 7-0, baby. 269. Nice goals against average with an 896 save percentage. Sergei Bobrovsky, he started every single game for the Panthers, while Calvin Pickard hasn't made a start since round 2 against the Vegas Golden Knights, where he was injured. As I keep mentioning, he's appeared in each of the last 2 games because he's had to spell our boy Stuart Skinner. And Pickard, I loved him. We played the interview clip earlier. He just said, dude, this kind of just feels like another game for me because I've been in the crease so often the last 2 games. Once again, what else can you say? Ultimate confidence in Calvin Pickard. The real question is, because I was kind of stumbled on this, 26.5 saves is what his line is set at tonight, minus 130. I'm going to pick the over just because I believe in the boy, but I hate that line.
A lot of volume. The Panthers have been absolutely firing the hell out of the pill towards the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, even in relief, in Game 4, he still had to make 22 saves in that game. So I don't mind that whatsoever. But he has been just tremendous for the Edmonton Oilers. Got a fun little stat for you, Bordzy. There are 3 goaltenders in NHL history who have had a 7-0 record or better in a single playoff. First was Jacques Plante from the Montreal Canadiens in 1959-1960. 8-0 record, 950 save percentage, a 1.35 goals against average. Habs won the Stanley Cup that year. Gump Worsley, 1967, 1968. Ripping darts between the intermissions. Just smoking a pack because such is the time. 11-0 record, 930 save percentage, 1.88 goals against average. Guess what? They won the Stanley Cup. Calvin Pickard, Edmonton Oilers 2024-25, 7-0 record, 896 save percentage, 2.69 goals against average. Numbers are made up. 2 wins away.
2 wins away.
Saying.
Here we go, boys. Here we go. Also, fun fact. I see your fun fact. I'll raise you another fun fact.
I love fun
the
facts.
Edmonton Oilers are the first team to have 2 goaltenders each with 7 wins since the Pittsburgh Penguins did it with Marc-Andre Fleury and Matt Murray.
Oh, my
What'd
Lord,
they do
Matt
there?
Murray.
What'd they do there? Also one was there. Sergei Bobrovsky, he's on the other side. I mentioned he had his worst game in the Cup Finals so far, allowed 5 goals on 35 shots in Game 4. Mentioned 5 different goal scorers who were able to beat him. Hey, it's also going to be an answer to a trivia question later, so I can say it on the show. Sergei Bobrovsky has played 15 games in the Stanley Cup Final because they got swept by the Golden Knights, remember? What do you think Sergei Bobrovsky's career save percentage is in the Cup Final?
That's a great question. What is it?
888. The man can be beat in the biggest stage and in the biggest moments. Let's go, Oilers. Looking to see some of that home cooking, some of that offense roll through. Let's go now to the away lineup, brought to you by the very bar I'm sitting in right now, Greta Bar-Yeg, my humble abode. We are on week 8 of being here for every Oilers game. I took 1 game off from the bar, did it from home. Hey, it's so much FOMO not being down here. We're going to be partying up tonight again for Game 6, and if necessary, for Game 7 as well. I'm going to sweat 30 pounds out if there's a Game 7 down here, Greta. I am going to be a mess, but you can come down here and see it yourself. They got awesome stuff. We got awesome contests going every intermission. The last person won a $250 gift card to Wilhock Beef Jerky. Tonight, I believe it's just a gift card to Greta, so come on, that's a hot commodity on a night like this. Shout out to Greta Bar-Yeg, Arcade Bar Street Food. Bert, pull it up for me, what we expect. Zachary, you maybe man Twitter. Tell me if there's any changes expected.
My eyes, I'm dialed in right now, Boards. I'm dialed in.
That's my fucking boy. That's my fucking boy right there. Top line expected to be Carter Verhaeghe with Alex Barkov and Sam Reinhart. Second line, Evan Rodriguez, Sam Bennett, and the Turtle, Matthew Tkachuk. Third line, which has been dangerous, Eetu Luosterainen, Anton Lundell, and Brad Marchand. AJ Greer, Thomas Nosek, and Jonah Gadjevich round out your forward group. Your D pairings, Forsling with Ekblad, Nico Mikkola with Seth Jones, and Nate Schmidt with Dmitry Kulikov. I'd ask you for your player to watch, but you tend to, whenever you tell me that, they end up scoring a goal.
You know how we do this.
I am not going to do that once again. Instead, I'm going to say, how awesome was it watching Connor McDavid dog walk the shit out of Aaron Ekblad in Game 4? He didn't finish it off. That was awesome to see. Aaron Ekblad, as a fellow Aaron, that guy pisses me off almost as much as Aaron Rodgers does. Thoughts, feelings on him getting walked, and I guess maybe turn into a decor conversation.
Yeah.
Work your magic.
Just another tremendous play from Connor McDavid.
Whoop.
He is just again, this is one of those opportunities where, he generates a really high quality scoring chance and just can't find a way to beat Bobrovsky. He had a backhand or two similar. I think it was in this game or Game 3 that he couldn't quite finish on. But Ekblad, look at him right there. I mean, this is the second time this series that McDavid's absolutely dog walked them. And the first time he also dog walked the Selke winner, Alexander Barkov.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyone can get it. Anyone can get it.
Anybody can get it. And man, it feels like a McDavid night, man. It really feels like a McDavid night. He hasn't really shown up in this series in the McDavid-esque huge game.
And 5v5. Give Florida credit. They've defended him well.
They really have. And
oh shit, Rick's here. Oh
there's
shit.
The big man. Let's go.
5-2. 5-2 he's predicting.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. I just got to feel it. I can feel it in my loins. I can feel it in whatever body part, whatever reference, whatever you want to call them. I feel it.
I feel it. Brett, the term he uses, in my cubes. And I like that from Brett. I've now stolen that from him. That's in my regular vocab, in my repertoire. Yeah, I feel like McDavid. I didn't put anytime goal in my Bordzy's bankroll, but you can bet your ass that I also have a place on that. Anything else?
Oh, no. Sorry. Oh. I just was we
got lineup this?
No, I was just Bordzy's bankroll.
Maybe we should get into Bordzy's bankroll right now.
Why
it's brought
not?
to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You can bet on the cup winner. You can bet money lines, puck lines, maybe some shot on goal props, maybe a little Evan Bouchard. Who knows? Boosh. Download the app today. 19 plus. Please play responsibly because there's no place that I would rather either make money or lose money at than Bet365. They also got a couple special things on the site. You go check it out. I also love the free prize matcher they do. They do it every single day, 7 days a week. And they give you free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? Pull it up here now for me. Bert didn't hit in the last game, but I am riding with it again because Zachary presented some numbers for me earlier today. He texted me with some numbers as I was making the bankroll. It was perfect because I needed it. A little bit of 6 cents going on. Number 2, 4+ shots on goal, only plus 115. He has 27 shots in 4 games. He had 7, 8, 9, then 3 in Game 4. And Zachary, hit me with some numbers about his home and road splits.
On the road in the playoffs, Evan Bouchard has averaged 2.4 shots on goal per game. At home in the playoffs, he's averaged 4.2. He loves to shoot the pill at home here. I really like the way that this one looks here for Bouchard.
It's 4.2, 4+ shots on goal. Yeah, it is. Let's go. Your next one, Leon Draisaitl, 4+ shots, currently plus 140. He had 4 shots in Game 1, 4 shots in Game 2, no shots in Game 3, and 4 again in Game 4. Now that he's got better line mates in Podkolzin and Corey Perry and home ice, so play with Connor McDavid. I like him to get 4 shots. And then, the aforementioned worm, Corey Perry, 1+ point, plus 105. He's on the second line. He's on the top power play unit. And in 4 games in this series, he already has 3 points. So you feel good getting the plus sign there. Zachary, your favorite bet would probably be Bouchard. But I see you got a couple of bets down there on Bet365. Would you share with the class?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the Bouch one. I actually got that one parlayed with the McDavid anytime at plus 400. I got the Edmonton Oilers on the money line. I've laid down a couple of futures here as well. Stanley Cup handoff, Leon Draisaitl.
Me too, plus 400.
Plus 400.
It's crazy.
Love that number. Also grab Draisaitl, Conn Smythe at plus 225. Guess what? We got a Spider 8-legger tonight. We got an 8-legger.
Crawley, give it to me.
Draisaitl anytime, McDavid anytime, McDavid 2+ points, Draisaitl 2+ points, Bouchard 2+ points, Jake Wallman blocked 3 shots, Brett Kulak blocked 2, and the Oilers with the race to 3 goals.
Yeah.
Plus 2,200.
I mean, I like riding with that. Do so responsibly, 19 plus. Brett's been my spider guy all regular season, but he ain't giving out spiders anymore because we've made it here, and Brett's not superstitious, but he's a little stitious as well, just a little bit. Anybody in the chat, let me know what you guys are thinking for bets as well, and maybe we can get our pals' thoughts as well, as Devan Dubnyk's appearances are brought to you by Tourism Jasper this summer. Find your happy place in Jasper. I lost my ad read. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire, happiness finds you in Jasper. It's open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive on over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late because your best summer memories are not behind you. They are waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip at jasper.travel/summer as we welcome in Dubs. I'm ready. That was a big one because it's a big game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. But Dubs, before we unpack that one, I want to unpack your game that you had earlier on today. I text Dubs for his key to victory tonight. Said, sorry, Bords, text you back in a little bit. I'm in the middle of an 8-8 barn burner in the second period because dad duty never takes a day off. What was the final score? How'd the game go?
Listen, it got even better from there. 12-11 in overtime, if you can believe it. My guy had 5 goals, including the overtime winner. He had himself a night. He's still pretty excited. Absolutely insane. It was 11-10, and we got a breakaway on an empty net, and the kid shot it wide. They came right back down and scored with 15 seconds left, and it went to overtime. It was the most exciting 7-year-old hockey game I've ever been a part of.
Future first rounder right there.
Get that guy on your draft board right now. Shout out to the Dubnyk family.
Unreal.
They say exciting things don't happen in Winnipeg. I raise you that. Shout out to that 7-year-old team. Dubs, it's a best of 3. It's coming down to the nitty-gritty here. Also, sadly, only 3 more times or 2 more times after this that we could be pre-gaming together. Dubs, I'll state the obvious here. It's a massive fucking hockey game tonight, and it's happening on home ice. Thoughts on what that Edmonton crowd is going to be, Brett? You want to pull up the photo again from 6 hours before puck drop? Dubs, it's been raining all day in Edmonton. It is so shitty outside. These people were lined up 6 hours before the game in the pouring rain that I may add to you. These people are ready to go. I'm ready to go. What do you think? What do you think the mood is ahead of this hockey game? What do you expect? You've been in the building for a playoff game. You were there for game 2, I believe it was. I haven't been in the building, but I think it's going to be rocking in Rogers Place tonight.
Yes, it absolutely is. I mean, it's just that city is something else, and you can see. I'm surprised people weren't just hanging out on patios in the rain and just getting ready to go. So I wish I was there with you guys. The excitement's building. I mean, honestly, last night I was saying to my wife, I was like, it just sucks that there's no hockey tonight. The hockey is so good every single game that it just feels wrong when it's not on. And I wish these guys could do this forever. Obviously they can't because they're putting their bodies on the line, but just incredible hockey. And fortunately we didn't have to wait two days for this one, and they're right back in Edmonton. So hopefully they can jump on them early and get that crowd going, because when that crowd is buzzing, there's really nothing like it.
I've had a pit of anxiety in my stomach all day. I was waiting for my Uber to leave. I was just pacing up and down my kitchen, just like muttering shit to myself, being like, gotta dig in, gotta dig deep, gonna have a good night. I'm a wreck, and I'm going to be sweaty. We know 2 best teams in the league. They're well above everybody else. Florida's going to get their runs. Edmonton's going to get their runs. Momentum swings are crazy in these NHL playoffs. But, Dubs, one key you got tonight, the Edmonton Oilers, they can bend, but they cannot break.
Yes, and listen, Florida's going to get their ozone time. They're going to get their forecheck going. That's what they do. They're a great hockey team. And Edmonton just has to accept that and be able to bend a little bit and not break, not have the major breakdowns in their zone. And because that's really what it is. They get stuck in there sometimes, and then they're unable to jump when they get a chance and get those clears. Sometimes they're just going to have to get into a little bit of a shell when Florida's buzzing and they're having a tough time getting it out, and just make sure they don't give up those seams, those grade A's kind of out of nothing when they're stuck in their end. And so they have to accept that there's going to be these times in the game where Florida's going to have these heavy pushes, and they just have to clog up the middle in their end and really buckle down. And then when there's an opportunity, get the puck out and get back rolling. So That's what I'd like to see from them, is just try to limit the major mistakes or the easy plays in their end, not get running around when they're stuck in their zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dubes, I wanted to ask you about the discipline for the Edmonton Oilers and how important that's going to be. You know, we touched on it earlier, the sloppy, high sticking penalties early in the game. Chris Knobloch saying after game 4, it's something he's, quote, hating, end quote. Not happy with the way that he's been.
Me too.
I think we're all kind of hating it. How important is it for these Oilers to stay disciplined out there tonight?
Well, it's everything, because the penalty kill just hasn't been good enough, and so they need to stay out of the box. It's really coming down to that. Obviously, we hope they can get the penalty kills when they do go on the box, because I'm sure they will at some point. But really, those penalties that are avoidable, and there has just seemed to be a lot of high sticking penalties. And when the referees are putting their whistles away, letting the guys playing playoff hockey, those are the ones they have to call. Those are the ones they can't put their whistles away. They can't decide if somebody hits somebody in the face with their stick or not. So they have to control their sticks, because when the whistles do get put away, what are the only things that get called? A blatant trip on a scoring chance, every high stick, and a puck over the glass. And that's it. So you have to control your sticks. And obviously we talked about Evander Kane last game being a little more disciplined, reining it in. Hopefully he got the message. He seemed to as that game went on. But they really got to make sure, if they're taking penalties, it's got to be one that's worth it. If you're taking away a scoring chance or something like that, and none of these high sticks out by the benches in the neutral zone that really have nothing to do with the play, they're just careless.
Yeah, Evander Kane also, Dubes, demoted to the 4th line for tonight's hockey game. He'll play with Matthias Janmark and Victor Arvidsson. He was benched in the first period, was on the 4th in the second and third period of game 4. I think Nobby got the message through to him here. And also, because he's been so inconsistent with those penalties, I could also see Evander Kane scoring a massive fucking goal for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. It's just what he does. But that kind of brings me to the next one and the key. It's what the Oilers have been riding to get to the Cup Finals, their depth scoring. Through 3 games of the Cup Final, we had not seen much of that. But in game 4, it breaks through. You've got a Darnell Nurse, absolute snipe. You got Vasily Podkolzin banging one home. Jake Wallman scored a goal. And yes, you still got Nuge on the power play. Your big dog, Leon Draisaitl, to score the overtime winner. But it's going to be massive tonight, especially on home ice, to get all 4 lines rolling.
Yeah, well, we saw what that can do. And we've seen that all playoffs. That's why they've got here. That's why it's been a special run. And we didn't really see that in the first 3 games. It was kind of just the big boys going. And we know with all the power plays, the penalty kills, there wasn't a lot of flow. There wasn't an opportunity to get that rolling. But if you see the way the Oilers came back in that game and the chances they got and the momentum swings they got, it wasn't because Florida was making a whole bunch of mistakes and coughing the puck up. It was just the Oilers rolling, just every single line getting out there over and over and creating chances and pressuring and just changing the momentum in the game. And that's the Oilers we've seen all playoffs. And so if they can stay out of the box and keep it 5-on-5, it gives them the opportunity to do that. And I think even with Evander Kane on the 4th line, that's a good thing about Evander Kane, is he really can chip in anywhere. He can play on the 1st line or he can play on the 4th line. He's still going to go out there. He's going to run guys. He's going to be chippy and do all those things. And so I know it's demoted, but at the same time, if we need all 4 lines to be going and turning over. And when they do that, that's a major advantage for Edmonton. You can see as games go on, as last game went on and into overtime, when Edmonton's able to do that not a lot of other teams can, the same way Edmonton can. Florida can't do it. All the other teams, it adds up at the end of a game if they're able to do that. So that's kind of a combination of the discipline and all 4 lines rolling, because the only way that all 4 lines can be rolling is if there's not a whole ton of penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really intrigued to see how this forward group does tonight. Dubes, one other thing that I'm interested to see tonight is how Calvin Pickard does between the pipes for the Edmonton Oilers. As our resident goaltender expert here at Oilers Nation, what are your thoughts on the Oilers going with Calvin here tonight?
I think they had to. I mean, the guy's done everything. He was a hero before. He's a great teammate. The guys play their butts off for him. He's 7-0. And listen, this wasn't like he went in there and made a couple chest saves and the Oilers stormed back and won the game regardless of him. He was a massive part of this. He was making incredible saves when they were behind, when they were trying to come back. He's stopping breakaways. In the 3rd period, when the game was tied, he had a couple unbelievable pushes into shot tips. And he had 2 saves in overtime to save the game. He had a save on Bennett, And then I believe it was Lucian in the slot. That one didn't get as much airtime, but when they show it from the side, that shot was labeled going under the bar, and it just glances off his elbow. So just during this playoffs, I mean, it's been a pretty incredible story with both of them, with him getting hurt, being 6-0, Skinner coming in struggling, and then standing on his head. Now it's back to Pickard's net. I mean, it'd be a pretty cool story at the end of the day if Pickard takes him all the way to the house on this one. And the way he's played, he's capable. Listen, we know what we're going to get from him. It's going to look different. It might look a little sloppy is not the right word, but he's a puck stopper. He stops the puck in different ways. He's not going to look as technical. We're used to that, but guess what he does? He makes big saves when it matters, and he has all playoffs, and he battles and battles and battles, and the guys do the same thing in front of him. So I think this is well earned. I think just the way things were going and the pressure mounting on Stu, and the fact that he got pulled last game when it really was not his fault and had nothing to do with him at all. This is just a good situation to come into, and Pickard has certainly earned this opportunity. If something doesn't go well tonight, I'm sure we're going to see Stu back, but I have a great feeling about Pickard, and there's no reason we shouldn't with what he's shown us in the playoffs with his attitude and just the way he's approaching the game and the way the guys are responding and playing for him. I think it's just an incredible opportunity, and it's an incredible story if they get to the end.
33 years young, 11 years in the NHL, and quite the opportunity to be dropped into. He talked to the media earlier, mentioned how he's played in each of the last 2 games, so he doesn't totally feel like he's just being dropped in without any working the rust off, and what you would say. He looked awesome in relief of Stuart Skinner in the last game, and while it sucks that Stu has to fall on that sword, I mentioned I think the only thing he did wrong was be the best player in the Oilers' worst period of the Cup final. But hey, it's the way she goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles. You got to put your best foot forward. And that right now is my pal Cal. Dubes, final question. Give me a score prediction and give me an anytime goal score.
I'm going to go 5-3 Oilers. Empty netter. And you know what? I avoid this all the time, but I'm going to go Connor McDavid goal. I think it's time.
He's so due, man.
So due.
And he's outrageous at home, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a home power play. Everything's going to be cooking a little bit. Devan Dubnyk. Yeah. Flick of the wrist. Chef Curry with the pot, boy. Dubes, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch up with you on Oilers Nation After Dark after the conclusion of this hockey game. Are you going to be watching from a hotel room alone in Winnipeg?
We're at some relatives' house right now for half the game, and half the game will be back at the hotel. Maybe, just maybe, in a conference room with a bunch of kids playing mini hockey around, but I'll make sure I am dialed.
I hope you guys got a car and you don't have to sprint anywhere to get there for this one.
Hoofing it was the word that Dubes used before.
You don't run around after dark in Winnipeg. You guys know that. There will be in the car.
That's actually an incredibly smart call. Dubes, we love you. We'll talk to you in just a bit. Devan Dubnyk. He keeps talking about it. You don't want the hockey to end. I don't want it to end because it's awesome. I don't want to stop hanging out with Devan Dubnyk. This has been awesome. This has been 8 weeks in a row with this stuff. He is the man. Zachary, you are as well. Brett, final questions? Score predictions, anytime goal scorers. Zachary, you go first.
I do like the over, but I did a hit on TV with CTV Toronto before
Six
I came
flex.
down here. No big deal.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, national, brother.
I said 4-1 Oilers, so I got to roll with that. I do like the over in this game, but I'm rolling 4-1 Oilers here, and I am going with the Dave anytime as well. He's due. I'm going to keep saying it.
I hate to say it. I think it's going OT. I'll go 5-4. I haven't guessed an OT game yet, so maybe that's double standard and it won't work. 5-4 Oil OT, and I'm going to go with – I always go Jake Wallman, but he freaking scored, so I can't anymore.
What if he's hot?
Could be hot. I'm going Jake Wallman.
So hot.
So
we've got – okay, so before quickly, though – or actually, no, sorry. I want to hear what yours is first.
So I'm going – I have predicted it in every game, I believe, so far. This is going to overtime because, of course, why not?
Why not?
And I'm going to go 4-3 Edmonton Oilers in overtime on the back of a Connor McDavid anytime goal in the biggest moment. The stage is set. And if I'm correct, we're clipping the shit out of this. What else you got?
Okay, so Rick came by, our friend Rick, right? He said 5-2 Oil. Doobie said 5-3. Brett, 5-4. Might be something there.
Might be some
covering all of the boxes.
every game's hit the over so far, and as much as I believe eventually they'll shut it down defensively,
I just don't see
I don't actually see that really happening. I mean, it's just run and gun. It's some of the best hockey ever. Expect the unexpected, but you can expect to see us for Oilers Nation After Dark at the conclusion of this hockey game. Pre-gaming down. Could only be 2 more chances to pregame this regular season. Might even just be 1. Who knows? Either way, I love you all. Zach, you're the fucking man. Brett, you're the fucking man. Devan Dubnyk, we know he the fucking man. And all you in the chat, I appreciate you. You guys are the best. Is there any super chats? Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Brownie Oilers, Jordan's in. This team is inevitable. 4 Heims, 4 Ben. Cup. Yeah. And then Mistaken Mexicans in with $50 for Ben. Let's go Oilers. Wes is beatable. Wes McCauley. We won game 1 in spite of him. It is possible. Janet or Shorty incoming tonight. Dare I say it, first goal? Okay, maybe you need to sprinkle on that. I'm not going to do it, but Mistaken, we love you, and I love everyone in the chat. Shirts, you guys, come on down to Greta. It'll be standing room only. You're still going to have a sick time. Trust me, I got to get on the microphone. I got a party to host. And we will talk at the conclusion of tonight's hockey game. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Over and out.